Start with our supplies. Okay, we have two pieces of paper here that are our bunny templates. One's going to be like the front side of a bunny. It will have a nose on it, and the other side will be the back with a little bushy bunny tail that I'm actually going to use cotton balls for that you don't see pictured here. But I've also got felt glue, push pins, so we can pin those bunnies onto the felt here. Now I have chosen a sparkly pink and purple felt, but you can use any color. You don't even have to use felt if you don't want to, although I think it's going to be easiest. So felt, you need some burlap. I have chosen a roll of burlap, but you could definitely buy it by the yard. But I think with this roll, you've already got your width set, so I think that's going to be easier. Of course, pom-poms for the nose and, well, the tail if you'd like, and a roll of ribbon to hang with the banner on, basically. And also you might want to grab a glue gun and some glue sticks for one of the final steps. Let's get started. All right, now I've cut my bunnies out of the paper. I've got my templates that I am then going to pin onto pieces of felt and then cut each one out individually. But first, let's cut our burlap, our pendants. Now I have decided to make mine 12 inches long. I'm just using the width of the burlap roll, but I've decided I'm going to do 12 inches. Gives me some space at the top and the bottom, well, to play around with. So cut out 12 inches. You can cut out as many as you want. Maybe you want a 10 pendant banner. Maybe you want a 3 or 4 pendant banner. So cut out as many as you want, all 12 inches long or whatever size you decide. Okay. Hopefully you have cut out your pendants by now, but I've put one together just kind of to show you what I'm thinking here. So I've got 12 inches, right? So I've got some room here at the top that will fold over one of the last steps that will then string ribbon through. I have decided to cut mine like this at the bottom, and I'm going to show you a little trick on how to do it. And here's one bunny that I have glued on there, and I'm decided to make a little nose, but you could do that however you'd like. But I'm going to show you a little trick on how to cut a bottom like this, in case you want to. All right, you ready for my little trick? Here's how we're going to cut that nice little triangle. An easy way to do it, how it stays even. So basically, you're just going to take your piece of burlap and fold it in half. Make sure it's even, in half, even on the end, even on the sides, and then you'll hold it like this. You're going to take the part that's open when you fold it, place your scissors here, and cut up however, deep you want it. That's going to depend on it. Just make sure you've got some kind of process for how deep you're going to make it so all of them will look the same. In fact, what I'm going to do now is for each piece of burlap I cut, say I'm folding a new piece here like this, I'm going to just lay that like this and cut once again here so that all of mine are the same. So now you've got your end cut. Hopefully that made sense. And just another little trick. I mean, this is burlap and it's supposed to look kind of rustic, so it's still going to obviously fray a little bit. But to deter some of that, get a lighter. You can also use like a tea light and rub this over the edges. Be careful. You won't know how many things I have accidentally lit on fire doing this, but so don't actually touch it. Just kind of, rub it along the edges here. Okay? And then it kind of just seals and melts the ends so they don't fray. Okay, so hopefully by now you have cut all your burlap, you have cut your ends, you have cut out your bunnies, glued them on, decorated them however you chose. Of course, I've got little pom-poms for the nose, did use the cotton balls. This is the back side, obviously this is the front side, just to clarify. And we're on for the next really kind of final step. We're going to basically take this top and fold it over, make a little kind of loop so that we can string it. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. On to our next step. We're almost done. Now I have plugged in my glue gun here, so it's ready to go. And I have taken my banner and I'm going to flip it upside down. So I'm laying it out here. I'm going to use my ruler and measure 1 inch from the end and mark it. Just going to do it in a couple places to attempt to fold this over straight. Straight things, making things straight, not quite my forte. But so I've got a line about 1 inch. I am then going to take it. You can see my marks here, and I'm going to crease it. fold it. Looking pretty good. So now that I have folded my line about an inch, I'm going to do that on the tops of all of them. I'm going to put a string of hot glue, and remember, do this on some kind of surface because the glue and the permanent marker will bleed through, and I don't want you to ruin the countertops or whatever. So I've got a nice strip of glue there, and I'm just going to push it over. Watch your fingers too, because it will bleed through and you will get glue all over, but my fingers are kind of immune to hot glue burns. So you've got that tacked on the edge there. Pull it off. Just make sure that you still have a loop here, because this is where we're going to string the ribbon. The final step once everything dries. We've cut, we've glued, the banner is now ready to hang. Essentially, we just have to string some ribbon through it. Now, again, you can make this as long as you like. I'm going to do 4 because of where I'm going to put it. So, here's what we're going to do. I've got this nice little rope, right? And I've got a roll of ribbon here. I am just going to run the ribbon right through the loops. You might have to roll it up, that we've created. Push it through. Should roll pretty smoothly. There we go. And then you're just going to do that through each of them until they're all strung together. And my advice is leave enough slack on either end of your banner so that when you get to hang it where you have chosen to put it, you'll know if you can, move these things around and shift. And then once you know how exactly you want it to hang, maybe you could put some push pins here in the back or glue it just so they don't move around. But congratulations! Let's see what the finished product looks like. It's success. Now, I probably could have done mine wider. And the cool thing is it's just ribbon. So if anytime you wanted to add more, add more. But for all intents and purposes, we've got a 4 here. I just tied some bows at the end of each ribbon, and you have a burlap bunny banner. Happy Easter!